Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm about a minute early, just checking the clock. No, I'm bang on time. This is good. So, hello and welcome to this Wednesday edition. You could call it the Wednesday Q&A, but you might not be watching this on a Wednesday. And I thought I would share this 10 minutes or today's 10 minutes to answer any commonly asked questions. Now, I know the expression is frequently asked questions. I get that. But I am asked questions frequently and commonly around the topic of visibility. So, what is visibility and why is it important? Well, your ability to be visible, your ability to raise your professional profile, put your work or yourself out there is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. And it's not something that we learn at school. So, quite often I give talks or trainings. I speak to companies, I speak to individuals, I speak to businesses, authors, speakers, consultants, and there are a set of questions that I get asked a lot. Now, there's quite a lot of these questions, and what I will say to you is, if you're watching this live, you can comment in the comment box below. And while I'm on live, if you have a question for me, feel free to ask me that question. But I've picked 3 questions in order to keep the time tight today and wise today and to honour your time. So I thank you for the thumbs up, whoever's just liked that. Thank you for coming along, and thank you for participating. So I get asked a lot of questions, and perhaps I will do this every Wednesday, appointments and time permitting, and just sort of pick a couple of them. So here are 3 questions that I've been asked in the last week, actually, and they are commonly asked questions too. They are ideal for you if you are, looking to put yourself out there more. If you're wondering how I do things, behind closed doors, and also if you're just kind of curious about what is this thing that she does and what kind of things is she doing. So I've got a squeaky chair, but I'm going to just move up a bit. I've got a light shining in my eyes. So the first question comes around. I took a social media break for the first time ever in the whole 12 years of my business. I took a social media break and only streamed on YouTube and on Clubhouse, which is an audio app. And for those of you that have been on Clubhouse previously, yes, it's still going. It's a great place, if you are a speaker or aspiring to be a speaker, or just want to kind of hone your skills or practice on that, and listen to some really great rooms in there as well. So I did that for all of August. Now, it has to be said, and I'm grateful for this, I didn't do it because I was burnt out. I didn't do it because I was frightened of being visible. I didn't do it because I felt like, oh, it's too much, it's overwhelming, I've had enough. And I know a lot of people do. And it's interesting because I've considered writing a course about this. And at the risk of it sounding negative, hey, Alan, good morning. At the risk of it sounding negative, I don't want to call it sick of social media, but people that I'm having conversations with and have been for, coming up to just over a year now, actually, they're using that terminology. They're saying, oh, I'm so sick of social media. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing social media. I'm streaming right now on social media. But what I have noticed are that people are fatigued with doing certain things in certain ways. So what I want to say to you is, it's not right, wrong, good or bad. There are different ways to do things, and the best ways that work are always the ways that work for you. So the question I was asked by somebody, well, they said, as a visibility specialist, Jenny, like, can you take time off social media? Isn't that what visibility is all about? And the answer to that is yes. You get to do whatever you want in the way that suits you. And what I wanted to share was some of the insights, like just a couple of insights of why it happened. And somebody, even last night, after I'd run a masterclass in a networking group, even last night, somebody had said to me, so it'll be interesting to hear like how your August went with not being on social media. And people say it like it's a bad thing, but here's the one of the things that was most significant in my memory for this time away from social media. Now, this is going to sound strange. I know that there's a book called How to Break Up with Your Phone that talks a little bit more about this kind of phenomena. But I have to say, one of the top thing that I found from this whole experience was the clarity to hear my own ideas. Now, this might sound a little bit strange. I am quite creative as a business owner. I like to do things differently. And I like to make sure that I'm really focusing on the people that I'm working with so that they get what they need from my work, not so that I just get what I need from my work. And one of the things that I found was without the kind of permanent scroll, which has become a habit, look, my thumbs are going into automatic scroll. Without that, I recognized in myself that I had room to think the ideas, form the ideas, create the ideas, check in with myself, whether it felt like something that I wanted to do long term, short term, who it would serve, how it would serve. And as a result of that, it's opened up so many opportunities. I talk a lot about being overwhelmed and not being overwhelmed when it comes to being visible. As we hit September this week, I find myself a little bit like, oh, I've got a lot of things to do, a lot of spinning plates. These people want me to talk about the reward ceremony. These people want their proposal for their piece of work. These people want to expose me to their audience. I know that sounded a bit dodgy, but yes, these people want to have me speak to their group. These people want to have me give nuggets of information to this set of their groups. It has been quite overwhelming, but in a positive way. And I really attribute that down to just sitting and being able to hear myself think quite literally. The second thing, which is a bit of a downside that I found from not being on social media, quite often I would scroll, especially on Facebook, first thing in the morning, and it would show you whose birthdays it is today. So even if you'd forgotten, didn't know, you could pop over, write a nice message, sing somebody happy birthday in an audio note, which I do quite frequently, post a picture of some flowers or a beer or a sunset or something like that. Without me being on social media, I missed that. And ultimately, I missed a few people's birthdays that I would have liked to have at least said happy birthday to. So that was a bit of a flip side. However, if I were to do my kind of due diligence, I could put their birthdays somewhere else where I don't have to access it on social media, like good old-fashioned diary. Yes, I do still have a paper diary, or even in my electronic diary on my phone. So that's an easy way to rectify that. Hey, it's Faye. Hello. Okay, let me make sure I'm sticking to time. So that was the kind of downside of that. But the other upside of this was the I want to say the mental clarity, which is different to the creativity. Sometimes, even as I'm speaking, I forget things. I find it hard to recall. And I just put it down to my age. I'm sliding through the decades or up the decades. I put it down to my age and maybe having a lot of things on my mind, my business, my life, my family, my friends, and everything else. But actually, with the time away from the scroll, I got a significant amount of my memory back. Again, this is going to sound nuts. And if you've done anything like this and experienced these kinds of things, do type in the comments below, even if you're watching it on YouTube or even if you're watching it on the replay in the Facebook group, on my Facebook page, or on my profile. I'd love to hear the things for you. And would you do something like that? And if not, what would stop you? I'd be interested to know. So those were just some of the things of coming off social media. Did it damage my business? No. Did it get me to think more? Yes. Less of the age stuff. I know, right? But I hear so many people that keep talking about, but things weren't like they used to be. My memory's not the same. I must be going through the change. It's because of this, it's because of that. And honestly, eliminating the amount of time spent scrolling, specifically scrolling, because sometimes we go in and we get our information, and we do that online in many different ways. But that really makes a difference. Anyway, as I say, I think I'm a youngster. You're definitely a youngster, Alan. So yeah, none of that. None of that. It's so helpful. I honestly recommend you try it. In fact, I was wondering whether the Vibers in the Vibes tribe, would you like to do something like that? Although it's going to be hard to do it in a group if we're not going to be on the group. But maybe if I kind of give you a prompt every day, then you go off, do whatever the thing is, and then come back. Honestly, the insights are amazing. If you want to know more about that journey, by all means, go over to my YouTube channel. You'll see some audios that I recorded. I think I need to number them because I'd forgotten to number them in order. But you'll see the audios that I recorded about this journey and what led to this from last year. Anyway, a couple of other questions that I get asked. I get asked a lot, Jenny, can I pick your brains? Now, there's two answers to this question, yes and no. Here's when I will say yes. If we're in a conversation, if we are doing something and I'm not kind of on a call with a client at work, I will normally say yes, as long as it's not about this work that I do. I've been doing this for 12 years, and for many of you, you might be connected to me from a client base, you might be connected to me because we've been to an event, you might be connected to me because we went to school together, you might be connected to me because we work together. However we're connected, if you can see that I am the perfect person to answer the question, which is sometimes said, or, oh, I know it's a bit cheeky, but what I want you to do for yourself and for me is to honor your craft, value your tools, and value your skills. That means, so for example, we've got Alan here and we've got Faye. I know that Alan has written books. I know that he's created online courses. I know that he's a speaker. If I want to find out about Alan's book, I need to read it. If I want to read his book, I need to buy it. If I was to randomly drop a message to Alan and say, hey, Alan, just want to pick your brains. That book that you wrote, although he's wrote many, that book that you wrote, what's it about? Can I just sometimes sit and I'll buy you a coffee and, we'll chat about it. Well, the book itself is worth more than the cost of a coffee. The insights that Alan poured into there is worth more than me just trying to pick his brains. Faye is the most phenomenal, I think, makeup artist. You should see her skin. It's amazing. And when I admitted to Faye how bad my skin was and how bad my makeup routine was really, I said I could really do with some makeup lessons. I paid to do that because that's Faye's craft. So in the same way, it's very flattering when you come to me and you can give me exposure, put me in front of your audiences, and sometimes there's a relevancy to do that. But if you want to know about how you can boost your brand, you want to know how you can get more visible, you want to know what to say at work to get a promotion, you want to know how you can have more people know your stuff. Oh, Jenny, you speak quite a lot. I'd like to speak more. How did you do it? Who do I need to contact to ABC? If it's anything to do around the work I do, I almost willingly have a conversation with you to find out how we can best work together. And sometimes I'll just say, go over and check out my YouTube channel. I've got all of those things on there. I'm not being mean. I too am affected by all the things that everyone's affected. This recessive period we're going through, the energy crisis that everyone's talking about, all of these things, I'm affected in the same way. And I know firsthand what it feels like to spread myself so thinly that I can't go to people's birthday parties. I can't help celebrate in the way that I want to. I struggle to pay bills. I can't even go to places that I want to go to. I know firsthand how that feels. And I think it's really important that we honor each other. And if you recognize someone has a skill, please stop picking their brains. For that reason, I've done so many talks over the last few weeks and been like put in front of so many people, I've done something that I did during the first part of lockdown in 2020. I've actually opened up a small number of sessions where people can spend an hour with me, which is a paid for hour with me. And I don't do hourly work one by one. We do it over Zoom. It's recorded. You get to ask your question, and if I can help with the answer to that, not only do you get to keep the recording to listen to, but if it's something that is quick, then you've got more time to ask other questions. We'll do that all in the space of 60 minutes. You keep the recording, but they are paid for sessions. So if this is something that you think I could really do with this now, then send me a message on any of these platforms, and I'll let you know how you can get hold of that. It's not something I do a lot, and I don't have tons of time to be able to do it, but it's something that you can do. However, the best way that you can pick my brain is to go through my YouTube channel, is to have a look at the content that I've posted either in the group or here on social media. Have a look. There's lots of stuff around video, around visibility, around speaking. But best of all, this Friday, the 9th of the 9th, I'm going to be hosting for a whole day 9 separate sessions, which are going to be between kind of 30 to 40 minutes. And they're going to be all about optimizing your current career. Now, whilst this was originally put out really for people who are employed and looking to do that, a lot of you have reached out to me and said, look, you know, I've got my own business, but some of the stuff that you're going to be talking about, I think will be really relevant to me. Can I come? Of course you can. Why am I streaming it on YouTube? I'm streaming it on YouTube because it means that you don't have to sign up, get a gazillion emails, look out for links and things like that. It means that you don't have to have your camera on. You can be walking around the house naked, as far as I'm concerned, and listening to me and my lovely guests, Anita and Cassandra, in the background. You can be sat at your desk taking notes. You can have the cat, the kids, you know, the lovers, whoever's in your household walking by. You can be at work and have your headphones on if you're allowed to. And it just means that you can get access to the kind of nuggets that I've only previously been able to share in my own kind of workshops, corporately, when I've given lunch and learn talks, and even on segments of the BBC. I've done a number of them now where I've done at least, I think, 4 BBC 5 Live segments where I talked about career changes a couple of times. I was coach on call with Nikki Campbell, which was great fun. I talked about the professionalism of handshake or hugging in business with Emma Barnett. I've been on, you know, talking about video and how to use that professionally, all sorts of things. And I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to put it all together in one day? I picked my own brains, and I've done that for you. So if you or someone you know has got a job, you're not necessarily looking to jump ship and go to another company. You might want more responsibility, you might want a promotion, you might want a pay rise or something like that, or they might. Then if that's you or someone that you know, send them over to my YouTube channel, get them to click on the link of my YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. Every time the segment goes live, they will get a notification. And best of all, if they're at work and can't watch the whole segment, all they need to do over the weekend, I'll keep all of the segments live, or go back in and click and watch a replay, take the notes and everything else. Now, these segments will disappear by the beginning of next week. There's really cool information on there. All sorts of things like how to make an impact in the kind of way that helps you be noticed in your career effectively. There'll be how to make connections and network, how to use LinkedIn as an employed person, because a lot of people say, well, you know, it's just for recruiters and headhunters. No. Anita will be telling you a lot about how to do that. We've got Cassandra that will be joining us all the way from the States, and she's going to be talking about self-care. I know firsthand what it was like when I was working a gazillion hours a week, back-to-back meetings, not even time for a lunch break. And she's going to talk about how you can implement self-care. And also in a separate session, she'll be sharing about beating burnout. And if you have been looking at people on their entrepreneurial journey and you thought, I quite fancy going from employee to entrepreneur, Anita's also going to be hosting a special session about how to make that smooth transition and the sorts of things to think about before you kind of literally jump ship. It might mean that you end up staying where you are, having created a career that you love, doing more of what you love, and having a business on the side or something else. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got questions and you would like me to answer them on next week's Q&A, then by all means, send them in to me. If you'd like me to answer them now, I'm just looking at the comments, then now's the time for you to type that comment in. Otherwise, I am going to skedaddle. So on the social media stuff, someone said, I literally cut out social media for fun for 2 weeks and read books instead. Feel so much better. Honestly, it's so true. It's become such an ingrained part of what we do. And it's great when we handle it and it works for us. But a lot of people really have this kind of comparisonitis thing, a lot of imposter syndrome based on what they see. So there might be a different way to use it. So anyway, Alan says, thank you for the shout out. Always, Alan, thank you for taking the time and coming live. Now I know I've definitely gone well over 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop now. If you prefer to watch this broadcast over on YouTube, then you'll see the description will change slightly with the link to this on YouTube as soon as it's uploaded in the next few minutes or so. Can't wait to see you on Friday. If you want to know more about speaking more in your business, I'm going to be on Clubhouse in the Women in Business room, which is actually open to women and men. Next Friday on the 16th, I'll be there and you'll be able to come in, ask your questions, listen to the nuggets that I will share there. I've got a couple more speaking gigs, but they're for companies, so I can't invite you in as much as I would like to. Either way, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for commenting, and bye for now. Take care.